There's people out there that are there to talk to people about what's happened to them. So what I tend to do now is I work on the person that's sitting right in front of me. What is going on in your body right here and right now with me when you talk about stuff in your life? And by doing that, we trigger sensations in the body. And what I can do is target any memories that are incorrectly stored in the brain. There's memories that are stored in our brainstem. So when you're triggered, instead of getting a picture in your mind of something that happened, like maybe, you know, if you see a car and it's red, your mind might remind you of grandma's car that was red when you were younger. We have other memories in our mind that when they get triggered, they actually send a sensation, an uncomfortable sensation into our body, which feels like anxiety. It feels like depression. It feels like a racing heart. It feels like heaviness and grief. But all it actually is a memory. I can even teach how these memories get stuck, but I don't know if the audience want to go into that. But these memories are getting fired up. And so what people are experiencing, as well as what we call anxiety and depression, is being triggered all of the time. They're being triggered and these sensations are going on in the body. And what I teach people to do now is to work out what's a trigger. In other words, what's a memory that's firing up and what is anxiety and depression. Because if we can start clearing the triggers, then life gets better. It really does get better. I have people that haven't been able to leave their bedroom apart from to go to the toilet for a year. And I'll spend 15 minutes with them on Zoom, work out what is the sensation, what is the personality that's stepping forward when that feeling there, what is keeping them in that room. And if we can target that sensation and shift that memory, they seriously walk out the door. I have people that amazing stories, people that are suicidal, and we only take a small amount of time. It doesn't always work, because for me, I work out what is a memory, what is a trigger, and what is something going on in the brain, anxiety, depression. And if we can start to notice the difference between a trigger and the other stuff, life can get really, really good.
Wow. Yeah. So it's possibly simpler than we can imagine.
Yeah. And that's the one thing. So it's very funny when I teach, you know, psychologists, psychiatrists, when I teach people in the mental health field that have been in that field for a very long time, when I go in and teach this work is called memory reconsolidation. So it is hypnosis.
I'm sorry, removing? What is it called?
It's called memory reconsolidation. So it's a new
reconsolidation. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a technique that helps shift, like I said, memories and sensations that are playing up. When I do teach these to mental health professionals, I have to spend hours and hours teaching the neuroscience, what's happening in the brain first before the technique, because if I taught the technique, they wouldn't believe it would work because it's short. Wow. So when I do demos on people, they take sometimes 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes to shift a sensation. But like I said, I don't even remember what the name is, but sometimes simple things are really effective, and sometimes healing doesn't have to take years and years and years. And like I said, this is not this works on part of the healing that someone has to move forward from anxiety and depression. It works on sensations that are coming up with memories being triggered. And of course, there's lots of other steps to it. Clearing stuff in the past doesn't make you happy. And I know that's what you do with being happy. We can sit and clear sensations, but unless we then work out what is it that you actually need to be happy, then of course the person will feel neutral and they might feel better, but are they going to have an amazing life? Not if they don't kind of have direction of what they actually want and where they want to go. And that's where hypnotherapy also, and of course all these other cool modalities comes in, you know, teaching them using hypnosis to go into the future to create a memory of what it is you actually want, so the mind can move towards it. So for happiness, for me, it's about clearing the sensations coming up in the body that's stopping us moving forward. But then it's also creating a mind picture. Some people call it going into the quantum field. I call it just an altered state, but taking people into the future, getting them to really feel what it is they actually want. And when they feel it, and when the mind sees it and believes it, it will actually create a false memory of it happening. It has no concept of time. Once that happens, our mind is going to move us towards what we want. We will have things happen in our life. So say if we have an argument with a partner or someone passes over, there's always going to be things that will come in the way. But if you can learn to go into these altered states and visualize and feel what you want, plus also shift uncomfortable sensations that are stopping you moving forward, you are going to have a good life. Even people that have suffered the most serious of abuse, they can have a good life. And it's about learning how to listen to your body here and now. So like I said, one of the reasons that people come to see me, that they haven't been able to move forward, is because they've been walking their story and their trauma, meaning I am what happened to me when I was young. I had an experience happen to me, and I do openly share it, about 3 or 4 years ago, where I had a near-death experience with someone actually strangling me. It was a big experience. Wow. And when I talk about this, I don't have emotion. I talk about something that happened to me 3 or 4 years ago. And from that experience, I can teach even better. And to do that, for me, I had to sit in the feelings of it. Not so much sit in the feelings, notice when I was triggered and do techniques to shift it, focus on what I wanted and keep moving forward and get my mind to understand what happened to me then. It's very real.